Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing this evening? Early evening. It is Sunday at 6:53 p.m. and I'm vlogging a little early tonight. Alex went to go meet with his mom, and then he is gonna go and hang out with Sarah for a little bit. And so I have just kind of been relaxing around the house. I've been doing some online shopping tonight. I keep a list of like things I want, and then I keep on going back and I look at them. Do you guys ever do that? And I go back and I look at them over and over and over and over and over again. So when something goes on sale or it's like a reasonable price, I'm like, okay, it's been on my list long enough. And I've had things that have been on there now for like years at a time. And so I have to go in there and I have to like take things off once I like buy them, because I think the list has like 30 things on there right now. They're so silly, you guys. I mean, some of the things are like bigger items, and some of the things, they're all just like things like mostly like clothing and hats and things like that. But I had like a gold coin necklace. Well, I've gotten like 3 of those now. I got one from ASOS for like 14 bucks. I got one in Miami when we were there with Melissa and Jason. We were like walking like by all these little artist shops on the beach, and I got one there, and then I got another cheap one somewhere. So I have like 3 of those, so I take that off the list. And then like I've wanted a needlepoint wallet forever that has a skull and crossbones on it, but I don't know that I would really use it, so I just keep it like on my list, and I go and I look at it. They're expensive. The needlepoint wallets are expensive, so I'm like, because I just want like the smaller one, you know, that just holds your cards, but it's still expensive. And I'm like, I think it's like 120 bucks. I'm like, I don't think I really need this. So I go on there and I look at like what I need and what I want, and of course it's all things that I want. It's nothing that I need. I have like 5 different kinds of trucker hats on there. When I see a trucker hat that I like I want to get a Pro Bass Shop trucking hat, but we have a Cabela's here, so I'm just gonna go to Cabela's and see if it fits my head. They're real cheap. They're like $7.99. I'm gonna try it on and see if it fits, and if it fits, then I'll probably get one. But if it doesn't, then that way I don't order it online. And then when Fufu was in town, he had on this hat. It was like a really cool trucker hat that he had gotten from a friend of his. I can't remember what the guy's name is now, but it's a brand, and when I looked it up, they sell them at Nordstrom. So I tried on his hat and it fit perfectly, so I think I am gonna just order that online, and it's like 25 bucks. But I didn't do it tonight because I was like, okay, how many hats do I need? You know what I mean? But as many as I want. And I try to like go through my stuff and see like, okay, what am I gonna have to buy this month? Like, I bought a lot of like Sol de Janeiro stuff the last couple months, and then last month I bought a bunch of Sol de Janeiro stuff online because everybody had told me like, if you buy it online, you can, like, they send you discounts and things like that, which I'm already getting like some kind of like amazing emails from Sol de Janeiro about like promo codes and discounts and stuff. And then, oh, I got the 2 watches I got came this week, and I love them, and they were not too expensive. I was looking at a watch that was like, it was like a couple $100, and I ended up getting these 2 watches for the same price. Well, less than what the one watch was. And I got them and I opened them, and I'm like, oh my God, I love them. They're so vintage looking. It's Todd Snyder's collection that he did with Timex, and they're these watches that came out in 1978. They're like called Quantum or something like that, Quantum Timex. And they look very cool. They look very vintage. I actually thought Alex would think they were stupid. And they came in these long boxes, and so I showed them to him, and he was like, oh, I really like those. So keeping that in mind as a possible, I told him, I said, go on there and see if there's one that you like, because he has like 20 or 30 watches. And I said, I'll get you one of those watches if you want, because Alex loves to wear watches. Which is so funny, because when we first got together, he didn't wear like a watch ever, and I always did. And then we kind of switched. But I wanted to have a couple more watches to wear with other stuff, because the only one that I have is this wood watch, which I love, but it's the only one that I wear. So I got these 2 Timex watches, which I really, really like. And then just some other stuff that I had been looking at. So, yeah, that was tonight. I didn't go overboard. I just like looked at a couple things I needed, and I was like, okay, well, so I've got a little extra money right now. I'm gonna get these things. So that was that, and then we got up today and we went to brunch at Cafe Patachou. It was kind of dead in there. I reached over my food to get my cup, and so they serve all the, you can't, like, back before like COVID, you could go up and get your own coffee, but now you can't. Like, they bring your coffee to you like in this cup. And so this is snickerdoodle coffee. It's delicious. But I had taken the lid off to put like sugar substitute in it and like Splenda, and I put the lid back on, but it was like this. It was like sitting on this sideways, and I didn't know it, and I grabbed the cup like this, and I took the lid off, and it spilled. The coffee went all over the table. Little unknown fact about me, I don't know if you would guess this or not, but I'm rather clumsy. True story, I am. Like, constantly falling over stuff and making like I mean, it's a good thing I'm not somebody that cries over spilt milk, because I spill a lot of things on tables, and I've just like, I've always kind of like been like that since, not like when I was a little kid, but I would say like in high school, like I started, you know, I wonder if it has, this is gonna sound so stupid that I'm like, I wonder if it has something to do with my epilepsy, because there's no way. I mean, I'm just clumsy and I don't pay attention to what's going on, you know? But then I almost knocked it over again, and Alex was like, would you please pay attention? I was like, yeah. So anyway, I have to go to the post office here in a second and mail this out. And I'm gonna watch some episodes of Wentworth tonight and relax. I have 1 hour left in my audiobook, so I'm gonna finish my audiobook tonight. And then I'm gonna start the Dorinda Jones series, I think. So here is something that I found out. I'm actually gonna do a book vlog tomorrow, so I'm not gonna get like into it like real lengthy. But I sat down last night in this series that I started called Magical Midlife Madness. Like, I thought it was like this 10-book series, and it's not. There's only 2 books in the series, and like the 3rd one comes out this May. And I'm like, of course I would start the one series that like all the books aren't out. But the other one, the Charlie Davidson by Dorinda Jones about the Grim Reaper, I looked, and it has like, there's like 10 books in the series, but there's like half books too. So there's like, you know, the 6th book, and then there's like 6.5. There's like an in-between book. So, and a lot of those aren't on Audible, and I want to listen to the series. I don't want to read it. So, because I'm reading some other stuff right now. I'm reading that Lemony Snicket series, which is pretty good, actually, for middle grade books. Like, it's good enough that it's keeping me reading it. And then I'm also reading that that Harlequin book, which is so bad. But anyway, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, I got so excited about this series, and then to find out, the next one's called Magical Midlife Dating, and then there's a 3rd one coming out in May. So, I mean, at least I'll be up to date on reading the series, so when the books come out. But I really wanted to like read them in a row. Somebody else recommended Janet Ivanovich to me. They sent me a message, a DM, and Mel had really wanted me to read those books because she really likes the Janet Ivanovich books. So, I don't know, I may have to check out that series. I think they're mysteries too. I'm almost positive they're mysteries, but anyway, so I think the next book I'm going to start is the Charlie Davidson book. But I also have a bunch of books that I want to read that I had forgotten. I have like 2 Riley Sager books that I want to read this month. I also want to read the Raven Boys series by, why can't I think of her name? She wrote All the Crooked Saints. Maggie Stiefvater. I've been like wanting to read those Raven Boys series for like the last 3 years. I always put them on my Spookathon TBR. And then, like the first one, and then I never read them. So I was like, okay, this is the year. And I think I downloaded the Raven Boys, and I have it on Audible. I was like, this is the year that I'm going to read it. So I don't even know if Spookathon is going on yet. I haven't even looked. I'll have to pull in here when I get to the post office and look and see if Spookathon's going on. I don't know what, I mean, I watch her videos, so I'm a couple videos behind on hers, though. It's Lala from Books and Lala. She's the one that started it and puts it on. I'll have to look and see. Anyway, there's Spirit Halloween. Nobody's there. I actually watched that Halloween movie yesterday. I had it on in the background while I was doing stuff. The one that I was talking about that I like, where it got real weird, though. Like, I forgot how weird it gets. It gets about, like, these druids and this kind of, like, I mean, I said, like, this Illuminati kind of deal, but there's this whole, like worship thing, and Michael, like, only comes out when, like, the moon is the stars or something is certain aligned on certain Halloweens or whatever. It's real weird. And, I had forgotten about, like, how weird it gets. I'm also sitting there and I'm watching them, and I'm like, I need to do some research into this to see, like, which Halloweens are considered, like, main canon Halloween. I actually think at this point it's Halloween 1, Halloween 2, and then the newest one that came out. I think that's it. Even though Jamie Lee Curtis has been in some other ones, and Mustafa Akkad, who was, like, the original director or producer, he's, like, done some of the other ones. I think they only consider those, like, main canon Halloween. Like, well, Halloween 3, but it's a completely different storyline, which I don't know why they did that, but there are so many people that love that Halloween 3. I should watch it again. Melissa loves it. She's like, if you watch it just for, like, you know, oh, it's a John Carpenter directed, though. It's not Mustafa Khan, but he was, like, the producer. But, or did John Carpenter do the music? John Carpenter did the music, right? Am I losing my mind? Anyway, if you, like, watch the third one, like, not trying to link it to, like, the Halloween series, like, it's actually, like, not bad, but it's kind of just real weird and out there. It's about the masks. Have you guys ever seen it? I don't honestly know the last time I saw it, but all the Halloween movies are for free right now on cable. You can watch all of them. Even, like, the, somebody's fighting right here on the corner, on the street corner. They're, like, getting into it. It's this couple. Oh, I think they're joking. Anyway. Yeah, you can watch them all for free on cable right now. Even the Rob Zombie ones. The Rob Zombie ones are really scary. But I love House of a Thousand Corpses. House of a Thousand Corpses and The Devil's Rejects are, like, really good. And the third one, I think it's called 31 or something like that. It's when they escape and they go to Mexico. That one I actually watched on a plane somewhere. I downloaded it. And it is really, really good. Rob Zombie is a phenomenal director. Like, he is an incredible director. The only one I haven't watched was with his wife. What's her name? Like, Moon something, I think. And, and it's like, like witches in this apartment building or something. Where is that music coming from? It scared the hell out of me. I think that's the only one of his I haven't seen. I'll have to look it up and see. I've seen Halloween 1 and Halloween 2 of his. But anyway, I don't know. Oh, The Devil's Rejects was when they were in that hotel. I did watch that. There's something about The Devil's Rejects that really remind me a lot of that guy. I think that it was called The Confession Tapes or whatever, about that guy that claimed that, like, he did, like, all of those murders, and then that, do you guys know what I'm talking about? It was on Netflix. It was actually very interesting. It was like 5 parts. I can't think of his name, but he was like the serial killer that supposedly killed the most people, like the number wise, the count. But like, I didn't know that until Eileen Warno said it's the number, like, you considered a serial killer after a certain number. I think it's like 6 or 5 or something like that, or 7. I don't know. But anyway, he was the one that was friends with that Otis Toole that supposedly killed that Adam kid that was kidnapped. But just, like, imagining them, like, driving all across the country, like, killing people, very much remind me of The Devil's Rejects. That one guy, I feel like he passed away. He played the clown, like, not in the movie, but, like, in real life. I think in the movie, too. But the one that played the clown in The House of a Thousand Corpses, which might be one of the finest horror movies ever. Like, that came out at a time when... Okay, so, like, it's interesting because, like, the movies like Scream, I Know What You Did Last Summer, all the, you know, Mrs. Tingle or whatever that's called, all of those movies, like, they came out at a time, like that Dawson Creek kind of era, when they were trying to, like, Kevin Williamson did most of those movies, I think, and they were, like, revamping, like, horror movies. Like, there really was nothing new anymore, you know? And so, I hope I put that together right. I know I put a stamp on it because it was the first thing I did when I got in the car. But, like, that was when there weren't, like, really any, like, good horror movies. And so, when they came out with those, they were kind of, like, geared towards that younger generation. And I was, like, at the time that those came out, I was, like, in my early to mid 20s, because my first boyfriend and I, we went and saw those all the time, and I loved them whenever they would come out. And that kind of got, I mean, I always loved horror movies. I, you know, watched them all the time when I was growing up. My friends and I watched them. I actually, like, Phantasms, if you guys have never seen those, Phantasm are some of my Otis Toole. Here he is. Oh, wait. Otis Toole, and it just said Otis Toole. It looks like Otis, but it's actually pronounced Otis Toole. And Henry Lee Lucas. Henry Lee Lucas, that's who it is. But, okay, who is the person that he supposedly killed? Was an American drifter and serial killer who was convicted of 6 counts of murder, like his companion Henry Lee Lucas. Toole made confessions he then later recanted, which resulted in murder convictions. Who was the one? Adam Walsh, I think is who it was. Adam Walsh. He died in his cell from cirrhosis, age 49. Police attributed the murder of Adam Walsh to Toole on the basis of recanted statements. Lucas had backed Toole's confession of the Walsh murder, claiming he had been in possession of the victim's severed head. Oh my God. How many? I Google the weirdest shit. Excuse me. Stuff. Family friendly. A serial killer is typically a person who murders 3 or more people in 2 or more separate events over a period of time for primarily psychological reasons. So I guess it's two or 3. I thought a serial had to be, because in the Eileen Wuornos interviews, she says it's the count. She keeps on saying that it's the number. It's the number that she killed. And that's what they're concerned with. It's not like how she did it or if it was defense or whatever. You guys are probably like, well, this is probably pretty gruesome stuff to talk about on a Sunday afternoon. Oh my God. How did I get talking about that? I don't even know. Let me go back this way. So anyway, yeah, that's what I've been doing today. Oh my God, I stayed up so late last night. So after I got vlogging, I was gonna, like, you know, I listened to like a half an hour of my audiobook, and then I went home and I was only gonna watch like part of one while I was like rendering my vlog so I could upload it while I slept. I ended up watching 2 episodes back to back of Wentworth. So I'm now on the 4th episode of Wentworth out of 10. This season is so good. Like, it is really, really good. But good in, like, an edge of your seat kind of way. Not good in, like, I don't know. It's like, first of all, like, the majority of the characters that I like are gone. Like, B is gone. And Kaz is gone, which I didn't always like her, but I did in the last season. That whole thing was so tragic. And then, the one that, I was thinking about this because there's a trans character this season, and they really, really pay a lot of attention to his storyline of, like, needing testosterone and stuff. It's very interesting, and they handle it very well in the education of it. I think in talking about trans people within the prison system, I think it's really interesting that the way that they're handling it. and also about like human rights and stuff. They actually, this season, this isn't gonna like ruin the story, I don't think, because I'm not there yet, but they have this young girl that comes into prison because she is arrested for terrorism, and but really she's just like about social justice and things like that, and she's like real famous as far as like somebody that's like an organizer, like a social justice organizer, activist. And oh my god, there's like a little concert there at the old Starbucks, look. And she says something about it's a violation of their human rights, which is really interesting. I actually looked up the actor that plays that character, and they're like a huge LGBTQIA rights activist, and there's like this whole article about them on the about them being on the show and the character and stuff like that. It's really interesting. So Wentworth is really good this season. But it's like all of the characters that I like. I think Boomer is my favorite character, hands down. And Vera, I love Vera. But it's like, I don't know. Like, I have to say also, I don't know what her name is. I can never remember. But the one deputy with the blonde hair, like, she's so bitter all the time. Like 2 seasons ago, or last season, I think it was last season, she got caught up in all of this like gambling stuff. Like she was betting on horses, and it was like so kind of like tragic and sad, but she's so funny at the same point. My husband is texting me. It's so funny at the same point that's like, it was almost kind of laughable, but like her character is so hilarious. And like everything, like every inmate that says something to her, like no matter what it is and how tragic and serious it is, and she's like, and you think that I care? She's like to every single one of them. She's so bitter and angry this season, and it's kind of funny. So I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna finish that, because in all honesty, like Tanya and I can't even talk about the show because she will let something slip until I finish it. So I just need to finish that show. So when I finish Wentworth, I'm then gonna start watching Landmark County or Country or whatever that show's called. There's like 3 or 4 shows that I really want to watch right now. I'm not real sold on watching the one with Jason Bateman. I was gonna watch that, but I just don't think it's a show I'm gonna like. I've had a couple people be like, that I'm close with, be like, Peter, I just don't think that you're gonna like it. So I don't know that I'm gonna watch that one. I can't even think of what it's called now. The one about where he like deals marijuana or something. I can't remember what it's called. It starts with an O, or... Do y'all know what I'm talking about? I know you do, because I've talked about it on here before. I need to pull in here and see what my husband said to me, but if I pull in there, like... There's no way for me to get through that gas station, so I'm gonna pull in here. Oh, my lantern. I don't know why I can't think of what that show is. But you know what show I just remembered I used to watch back in the day? I guess I could take my sunglasses off since it's kind of dark outside. I used to watch Weeds back in the day. I watched like the first 3 seasons of Weeds, and then I got so bored of it. But I loved that woman that played that main character. She was in that show, or she was in that movie, Longtime Companion. Did you guys see the new, Boys in the Band? Alex and I just watched the preview for it, and it looks really good. My mom, that was one of her favorite movies back in the day, the original. So I told Alex, I said, we should watch the original, and then we should watch that one. Unless they're like absolutely identical, and then I don't want to watch 2 movies that are absolutely identical. Oh, but I know what I was saying. I was talking about how, oh, you know what I want to do? I'm going to look at Rob Zombie movies really quick. I'm going to tell you all of the ones I've seen. Because I wanted to talk about those movies. Rob Zombie movies. Devil's Rejects. House of a Thousand Corpses, I've seen. 3 from Hell, that's the one. Okay. Lords of Salem, I have not seen. Halloween, I've seen. 31, have I seen that one? 5 carnival workers are kidnapped the night before Halloween and held hostage in a large. I have not watched that one, but I have it. I think I bought it. And then Halloween 2 I've seen. Why does it have all these movies that he didn't do in order? That's all these movies I've never heard of before. Maybe he did them and I didn't know. Did he direct Guardians of the Galaxy? He didn't direct that. Why does it have his name on that? Anyway, so you know what was interesting was that, okay, when I was in my early 20s, whenever that would have come out, like I don't know, when I was with my ex for almost 5 years, and I was 23 when I met him, so 23 to 28. It would have been in there somewhere that we, I guess we were together 4.5 years, so 23 to 27 and a half. I guess we would have gone in, is that right? Something like that. Anyway, in there that we would have gone to see those movies, because we used to go to them on like Sunday nights. That was when I was talking about, like, when it was like snowing outside, and I can remember we would take candy in and get popcorn and stuff. God, that was when I was thin and I didn't care what I ate. Oh my God, I was so great. I was working out and running all the time and stuff. But anyway, I need to get back to that. I've been telling myself that for 20 years. So, I've actually had moments of really good health in that 20 years. It's not just, that wasn't the only time. I've been really like in good shape a couple times throughout my life, or if I could just stick to it. And for long periods of time, actually, like for 2 to 3 years at a time, like I would be like eating really healthy and working out and everything. But anyway, then, and I don't know when Devil's Rejects came out, but it would have come out probably just a little bit after that. The whole horror movie genre was like, okay, now we've got to get like super, super scary again. And I feel like that's when, at that point, like between those Kevin Williamson movies coming out, and then like, I think that's who directed those, I could be wrong. And then like the Rob Zombie movies, like in all honesty, like he has a lot to do with the whole, reinterest or rejuvenation of the horror movie genre. And the reality is, like, for many of us that watched him growing up, because I mean, I watched him as a kid growing up, and then I watched him, in high school and college, definitely, all the old ones and stuff. But then all of a sudden what happened was, and there always have been a lot of like B-list horror movies that came out, but all of a sudden what happened was, it was like tons and tons. People are probably like, this is so boring, why are you talking about this? Well, it's interesting to me. All of a sudden it was like all of these tons and tons of really bad horror movies started coming out. Like they weren't even funny bad, they were almost like trying to be serious, and they just weren't, like, they were bad. And like, look up free, like, scary, I always like just, go scary movies, and then it pulls up all the scary movies, and you can look at all the free scary movies. There are a lot of like scary movies out there that are really just horrible and bad. Like, just no effort put into them whatsoever. And everybody wanted to be a horror movie director and, do horror movies and all this kind of stuff. And, which I think, like, it's really like, unless you watch them and you've watched them for a long time and you know what you're talking about, and like the different movies and the different, whatever, there is such an art and a craft to putting together a really finely woven horror movie that is truly, truly scary. I mean, you have to, I was reading this about, who was the author I was reading? Oh, I know who it was. It was the guy that wrote Bird Box, Josh Malerman. Because I read that book and I loved it. And I was reading this interview with him, and they said, he put a second book out, but it was about like the Wild Wild West or something like that. I think I got it in the Book of the Month Club. But, so anyway, I'm kind of being pulled back into that Book of the Month Club thing. I don't know why. But anyway, he said, and I thought this was interesting, because like, Alfred Hitchcock was somebody, which, those are suspense movies and thrillers, but Alfred Hitchcock was somebody that left a lot to the imagination, right? So like, you would hear somebody screaming behind a closed door, but you would never see what was going on. So it was left up to your imagination, And kind of like Gypsy Rose Lee is this burlesque dancer back in the day. She really didn't show anything at the prime of her popularity. I think it was at the end. But, you know, she would do the feathers and throw them back and forth, so you really never saw anything. And it was like this whole illusion of imagination, right? Well, Alfred Hitchcock did the same thing, you know, and he would like, a lot of directors did that back in the day. Like, they would put like a do not disturb sign on a door and then like peek back out, like, you know, oh, they're being romantic or whatever. Well, Alfred Hitchcock did that as well with like a lot of suspense things, leaving things to the imagination. It's like if you watch Psycho and you watch the shower scene, you don't really see anything except for like the knife in the air, and it's like a shot of that, and then it's like, and then it's like, I mean, it's all imagination of what you're putting together in your head about it, you know? And it's the same thing with like all of his movies. If you watch his movies, it's your imagination that leads to it. Okay. Well, then you take that, and I mean, that's really hard to do. People think that stuff's easy to do, but it's not. It's really hard to do. And then you look at like a story that anybody would think that was like really, really scary. Because there's a lot, I mean, it depends on what scares you. I'm somebody that actually thinks like whatever kind of movie you think is the scariest probably says a lot about your fear factor or what scares you the most, right? Like, obviously, the movies that I'm scared of, like Jaws, mean that, yes, I'm afraid of sharks, but probably also, like, control issues, like being in a situation where I have no control, like a great white going around me. So it's probably, and you can look and see, and, you know, identify what your fears are based on what things scare you. But, like, there's a lot of movies that scare me. Like the Michael Myers movies, I always tell people, like, they're like, well, what scares you? And I'm like, well, things that could actually be real. And they're like, you think Michael Myers could be real after all? I'm like, I don't know. Sure. You know, I mean, he's been in a psych unit for like 30 years and who knows, right? And they're like, there's no way that he could like fall from 30 feet and still be alive. Yes, he could. It has happened to other people. What doesn't scare me are like the ones that just could never happen. Like, what's the Nightmare on Elm Street movies? Those movies don't scare me. Like, if I were to watch it alone in the dark, like, you know, and then like have to go out to my car, sure, I'd probably be a little scared because there's like scary moments of like walking down the street and like jump scares and stuff like that. But that storyline doesn't scare me, like, at all. And the other one that doesn't scare me is the Pinhead guy. Like, that doesn't scare me at all either. It's more realistic stuff that scares me. Or even like paranormal stuff really, really scares me. So, yeah. I don't know. It's funny to see how like the whole like horror movie thing has changed throughout the years. And now it's like we're doing all these remakes. Like, I was watching the remake of Poltergeist not too long ago. It's so bad. Like, it is so bad they should never have attempted to redo it. And then, I mean, it's okay, but it's just like, they tried to make so much of it new, and I'm like, the original was so good. But like, the original that came out today wouldn't be so good. It was so good at that time. It's like, Alex and I watched Candyman a couple years ago, and he was like, this movie is so dumb. And I can remember watching that movie at the time and being absolutely terrified of it, you know? And there was a lot of movies like that like 20 years ago were scary, but they're not today. But have Virginia Madsen. Do you remember her? Oh my God, I loved her so much. I thought she was so beautiful. And then, actually, a lot of these like true crime documentary series are super scary to me. I'll tell you what was probably one of the scariest things I've watched in years. I don't remember what the second season was. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. The first and the third season of it was that True Detective. Is that what it's called? Or True Crime or whatever. The first one, I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's on HBO. And the first one was with Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson. And it was where they were investigating a cold case, and there was like that weird like occult stuff that was like out in the middle of nowhere, and they were going to like bars out in the swamplands of like Louisiana and stuff. Louisiana. And I can remember watching that like in the daytime in the house and being like scared to death. Like, it was that scary to me. The second one, which was with, so funny, my old roommate, she used to have such a crush on him. and I never thought he was good looking. And then when I watched that show, I was like, God, he is so sexy. I can't think of what that guy's name is. He was in the second one, though, and he owned a casino. Do you know what I'm talking about? And it had the girl that played Regina George in it. She was actually fantastic in it. It ends really well, too. Rachel, whatever her name is. But, what is that guy's name? I can't think. But then the third season, I watched over New Year's when we were in Mexico. And that one was really, really good. And it was about like a cold case, and it went back and forth. And true crime documentaries like really scare me too. That Don't F with Cats terrified me. The Staircase, did that scare me? I don't think that scared me, but The Keepers really scared me. Yeah, we were talking a lot about last night. My two friends are obsessed with... He is texting me. I can't see what he's saying. Anyway, they're obsessed with that. I don't know what her name is. Carla something. The serial killer woman, or the one that was married to the serial killer in Canada, and she supposedly like lured the girls in or whatever. And then the guy, that Luca Magnotti from Don't F with Cats, like he said that he was dating her or something, or... Anyway, it was real weird, but like they're obsessed with that case, and they like know everything about it, and I don't really know a lot about that case. I need to like probably look into it, because it sounds like a really interesting case. Maybe that's something that we could read for, because every friend of mine that I know that lives in Canada, they're like, oh my God, that case here is huge. Like people are obsessed with it here. So maybe I need to talk to, or maybe I need to find a book, and maybe Mel and I can read that for the book club, because that would be interesting. You know, I think people would really like that. Broadpool is busy today. Are there football games going on? I see like inside like football games on TVs. Starbucks is closed. People are carrying like food containers around. Cold Stone, is it open? It's open. Oh, all these like bar food places are open. Is Insomnia Cookies open? It says open. Oh my, all these places are going out of business. It's so sad. The amount of little business, all of these businesses, all of them, so sad. The amount of, what is, that place looks so cool. It's like a coffee house, but then they like have like plugins for computers and stuff like that. The amount of small businesses that have gone out of, like that have gone completely under in Indianapolis because of all of this is just absolutely, it's so sad to me. It is so, so, so sad. You know, when you think about it, too, it's like, it really hasn't been that long. Like, I mean, we started getting isolated in March. Indianapolis is 100% open now. But things have to be closed down at a certain time, and there's only so many people. You know, I think, I don't know how the count thing is. I think we're not, some places, like, it's like by place now, I think. But if you think about it, I mean, like, we got not isolated, but like, you know, we were put on, you know, at home or whatever in March. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September, in 7 months, people lost their businesses. Things they had worked for their entire life. I mean, I'm talking about businesses that I know that existed, that have been around for literally 20 or 30 years. And they've just completely gone under. It just breaks my heart. You know, and I have so many friends of mine. I'm literally waiting for my Sol de Janeiro stuff to come in the mail because I bought like 3 of these. And this is like so empty. I just need to throw it out. Here, it's not even got enough in there. I gotta put on. That's not tasty. That's not tasty at all. I have so many friends of mine that, like, their businesses have just been, I mean, just absolute. I have so many friends of mine that have been out of work for so long, and, you know, and then I have other friends of mine that, like, they've been working from home this whole time, and they're still working from home, and, like, the businesses are like, well, we're just going to keep, like, they've now said, we're just going to keep you working at home, right? And I'm like, well, that's cool that you get to work from home, you know, like, my husband's calling. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Alex was just filling me in on his conversation with his mom. They had a good time. They went to Basbo's. I just bit the side of my mouth, and he had a small salad. Now he's stopping by the house, and then he's gonna go over to Sarah's. I was telling him that I felt like my wisdom teeth were coming in, and he's like, do you think it's from grinding your teeth? Apparently, he's, like, woken up and heard me, like, grinding my teeth in my sleep, and I'm like, it could be. Like, I didn't know that, so I'm gonna have to go to the dentist and see what that's about. Which is, like, one of my least favorite things in the world. But anyway, I was talking about my friends, and I was talking about how, like, you know, I've had so many friends of mine that, like, their businesses have totally suffered, or I have a lot of friends of mine that were, like, laid off, like, just haven't worked in months. And then I have, this is what I was saying, that I have a lot of friends of mine that are working from home, but their positions were positions where they, like, had to come in, or they had to travel for work and stuff, and now they're being told that they're just going to work from home. And I'm like, well, that's cool, you know, like, they've kept you on and you just get to work from home. And they're like, yeah, but, like, if they don't need me to come into the office and they don't need me to, like, travel, like, I'm wondering, like, if my job is at some point not going to be needed as well, you know? And I feel like that's what's happened with a lot of businesses with COVID, is, like, they've just realized that they can operate in a completely different way, you know? It's like a lot of, like, the restaurants that we go to regularly, like, when we've come back, like, a lot of the servers aren't back, and it's because they don't need as many servers, you know? And so because, you know, they're not, like, having as many tables open as they usually do, and because there's, like, in Indianapolis, they're still doing, like, you know, every third table or every other table or whatever. So, they just aren't needing as many servers and stuff, you know, to work. And, so I don't know, like, it's just really sad, you know? And it's also gonna affect, like, retail workers and things at, like, the holiday seasons, because that's when they, like, hire so many new people, and a lot of people rely on that, you know, extra, like, retail work in the holidays and whatever. But I think they're not going to have, like, these extended hours they usually have for the holidays, probably. I haven't heard anything about businesses being open, like, you know, when they open, like, 24 hours a day some places, or, you know, they're open till, like, midnight or 2 o'clock in the morning, like, you know, Kohl's and those places. I have a feeling probably won't be doing that anymore. And then most places aren't doing, like, Black Friday shopping this year. I haven't even checked into the Edinburgh Outlet Mall, which is usually where we go for Black Friday shopping. Which that one is, like, you go, I mean, it's really not that packed on Black Friday. Like, you go into a store and then you're out of a store, and the whole thing, I mean, it's an outside shopping mall, you know? So I wonder if they will be open for Black Friday shopping. I'm actually going to check that when I get up here. But, and people don't have money to spend on Christmas this year, you know? Like, every person that I've talked to has just been like, let's just not do presents this year, you know? Which is fine. I think it, like, brings Christmas back to what it's really all about. Or, you know, maybe making homemade Christmas presents and stuff like that. I think maybe that's what we should do this year with Alex's family, is that we should all, like, maybe pull names, and then we have to make something for that person. I think that would be really nice. instead of like going and spending money, you know. His family, interestingly enough, is not somebody that spends a lot of money at Christmas anyway. They don't really care about that. Like, the gifts just aren't that big of a deal. And like, you know, like, we'll collectively buy, like, we'll buy the kids stuff. Everybody buys the kids stuff, but not even, I mean, the kids don't even get like that much stuff, you know. And Carlos is always like, they don't need it. Like, they've got everything they want. And the other thing is that, like, Carlitos and Sebastian are really into, like, drawing and painting. So, like, they like art supplies, but Carlos is always like, if you are going to get them something, get them an experience, like going to the zoo or going to the children's museum. But then I talked to Liliana about that last year because I was going to get them a membership to the zoo because they were going to the zoo a lot, or the children's museum. I think I actually talked about this on here. And she was like, I really appreciate it. She's like, but we get, like, free passes through the school and stuff, so we don't really need it. Or they get, like, they pay like a certain amount every year through the school, and they get, like, for $20 or I don't remember how much it is, but like one place it's like free and the other place is like cheap. And they get all of these like passes to go to all of this stuff. She takes them to everything free that there possibly is, which I think is absolutely incredible. My mom used to do that when I was growing up too. I don't know how my mom found all this stuff. She and her friend, we constantly were going to stuff that but Liliana always knows, like, the places to go and all that kind of stuff, where, you know, they'll have, like, an outside, like, face painting day or something. I'm like, how do you know about this stuff? She was like, through the school. She's such a great mom. She is, like, really a great mom. But, you know, it gets so expensive. Like, my friends are like, well, I think it was my aunt that used to tell me, like, with my mom, she'd say, I love going to Children's Museum with your mom, you know, and David, but it's so expensive by the end of the day because we eat there. Like, the food there is always so expensive, which a lot of people don't eat at those places, you know, like the zoo. The food at the zoo is, like, ridiculous. It's like amusement park food. But it's like, you know, you pay the pass to get in, and it's really not the kids that are expensive, it's the adults that are expensive to go. So you pay like $40 or $50 to get in, and then food on, I mean, you're talking about $100 a day, if not more. It's like when my friends take their kids to like Disney World, I am blown away by how expensive it is to take their kids to Disney World. Actually, Carlos and Liliana went a couple years ago when Sebastian was like, probably, did they do that like 2 years ago? And I was kind of blown away. Like, I asked Carlos, I was like, was it super expensive? And he was like, no, it wasn't that bad. And they went for like a whole week. And he was like, I mean, you got to do it. You got to take the kids to Disney World. We want to go back. And they loved it. They had so much fun. And they did like everything. And, but like, I think they went like kind of like on an off-season time too. Like, I have a lot of friends that go like off-season. But I've heard that Disney is just like unbelievably expensive. Alex and I were actually going to go a couple years ago. And Alex always wanted to stay in the Animal Kingdom part of it. I don't know like what I think about all that, but I looked at it, and to stay in there is like, to stay in one of the properties like on the park is like super, super expensive. I want to see this. Edinburgh. Outlet. Black Friday. I bet they probably don't have anything about it yet. Nothing. It's open right now, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day of the week. What is this article? Nothing about it. I don't know. Just crazy how much the world has changed. Such a beautiful evening. sky is like orange over here, then it kind of goes into this like purple, and then it's like completely blackish blue over there. So pretty. You want to see it? I don't know if you can see it up there, but you guys are like, Peter, you always notice the sky. I know, I don't know what that's about, but I do. I'm kind of excited to finish this book and find out what happens. It's one of those books where you like, she has kind of like no clue what's going on, and they're kind of like feeding it to her slowly. And she's so funny, but I gotta read some books this month to get caught up so I can hit my 100 for the year. If I listen to 2 audiobooks a week, that would be 8 audiobooks this month. And then if I read 1 book a week, that would be 12 books this month that I would read. If I could read 1.5 books a week, that would be 6. I'm so dumb when it comes to math. That would be 6 books plus 8 is 14. So 14 times 3 is 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. Is that 42 books, and I'm at 54? That's still not enough. That is still not enough books, and I still wouldn't hit my goal of being by 100 by the end of the year. I'm gonna be so mad if I come that close. I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'm not. There's gonna be no shame in my game whatsoever. If I'm in the middle of December, I mean this 100%. If I'm in the middle of December and I've like 10 books left to read to hit 100. And I don't care who calls me out for it in the world and says like that was totally cheating, that doesn't count whatsoever. I'm literally gonna go to the library and just sit there for like 3 hours, and I'm gonna pull all the shortest like children's books and just sit there and read them straight through. Like, I don't care. I really don't. Like, I'm gonna hit this goal of 100 this year. I'm gonna do my attempt. I'm gonna do the best of my attempt to legitimately read 100 books, but if I get that close, I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm gonna hit this goal this year. I'm gonna do it. I was gonna say that line, yes I am, green eggs and ham or whatever, but I can't remember what the line is. But seriously, I am. I'm gonna do it. Oh man. My husband, every time he gets into my car, we'll like get halfway somewhere like we did at Patachou today. This is like literally like every day that we get somewhere. He'll be like, oh my God, I forgot my mask. And so he always wants a brand new mask. So he is like, I've quickly been going through masks, okay, because he always wants a new mask. And I bought all these fancy masks. So I literally back here, you hear this? I'm just gonna grab the first one. I always have packages of masks in my car in case people need a mask, right? These are my Goodfellow masks, which I need to go buy some more because I really like them. But anyway, and we were sent a bunch of masks too. I can't remember who did it for me, but they sent me like 10 masks, and they're really cute, and they're very like fall winter theme. This one has like a moose on it. I love them. They're like red, and so we have all those masks, and so I'm trying to save them. I want some really like kind of fun beatnik looking masks, or you know, like a lot of polka dot different. I want different looking masks. So I know it doesn't matter, but you know, this is the world that we live in now. So I've been like, every time I go someplace and I see masks that I like, I buy them. Well, today, you guys might remember this. I got these masks in the mail, and I thought they were just like, oh, they say Indy on them, and they're blue. And I was like, oh, like everybody must have gotten these, because I didn't order them or anything, and they just had like this thing in there that were like, you know, for Marion County, living in Marion County. And so Alex was like, they're okay, but I mean, like, they're not my favorite masks in the world. So Alex was like, oh, I forgot my mask. So I pulled that mask out, and he was like, when did you get these? And I go, oh, like 3 months ago. I gave a package of them to Tanya because she really liked them. And, oh no, I had saved a package for, I think I did give a package to Tanya, and then she got some in the mail or something too. And he goes, I ordered those like 3 or 4 months ago. I wondered why we didn't get them. And I go, what do you mean you ordered them? He goes, well, all you had to do was like go on indieGov.org or whatever and just say you wanted them, and you could get like 2 packages per household. And I really liked them because they say Indy, like INDY on them, and like everybody in Indianapolis, everywhere you go, they have them. And they're these blue masks, like bright blue masks, and they're nice. But anyway, he was like, I can't believe that you've had those all this time. I said, I didn't know you ordered them. They didn't have like a name or anything on them. They were just in our mailbox one day. I thought literally they were just giving them out or something. He was like, well, they are just giving them out, but you had to order them. I was like, oh, I didn't know that. I thought maybe it was because I had done the census. Seriously. I was like, okay, maybe this is my award. My reward for doing the census. No, there is no reward. Just time for chat. That's all you get. Oh my gosh. Do you guys have like 1,000 masks? We have like 1,000 masks. I feel like just like constantly just sitting around. I actually have a whole bunch that I need to take in and wash. I was gonna get on Etsy and buy a bunch, but I was like, I feel like everywhere I go, they have like the ones at Target are really pretty nice. They have some really like cute ones at Target. I know it's like, what does it matter? Like, how good is your mask? Like, I joked about that in the past, and now I've like become that person. But I'm like, literally, we live in a world where you have to wear a mask all the time, right? So if you have to wear a mask all the time, like, you might as well have a mask on that you like, I think, right? Or something that you think is cute and whatever. And I do look at people's masks when I go places. I'm like, oh, that's a cute mask, you know? And there was this guy, he and his girlfriend were at Target when I was there. I don't know. So I wish I would have asked him where he got his masks. And he had this, like, plaid mask, this like cute gingham like kind of plaid mask, and his girlfriend had like a polka dot one on, and he had like a bow tie and suspenders. Like, he and his girlfriend were dressed. She had like some flowy long like you know, what's that store that I love, that Anthropologie dress on. They were so cute, and they have these little cute masks. Oh, I should probably go look at Anthropologie. I wonder if they have any masks. I bet they do. Anyway, she had these long flowy they had these cute masks on to match. They weren't like matchy, but they kind of like, they were just like stylish kind of cute masks and stuff. And I was like, see, they look so cute in their masks. I will tell you this, the one thing is, like, I have like big, like these Goodfellow masks from Target are pretty big, but my face is so fat and wide that like the masks just look ridiculous on my face. Like, they're just like stretched beyond. But at least they, you know, cover my mouth and my nose and stuff. You know, I don't really see very many people. I can only think of one instance where, well, Tanya and I'll tell you this, when we go to get fountain pops, especially this one gas station that we go to, the people that work there, they never have a mask on. Never, 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 never. And like, I don't understand it. I'm not the kind of person that's gonna call and cause trouble about it, but I'm just like, I don't get it, you know? And but I haven't really witnessed a whole lot of like people being like refusing to wear masks. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't witnessed that, where people are like, I'm not wearing a mask, you know, like this, where you see it, you know, like Perez Hilton is always like posting those on Twitter. I don't see that a lot, where people are like absolutely resistant to wearing a mask. But I will tell you, I was at the stoplight the other day, going out to do a review video or something, And I was sitting at the stoplight, and the gas station is to the right and the liquor store is to the left. And I saw these two people like shouting at each other, like in the parking lot. And I like rolled down my window to see what was going on because I'm nosy like that. And this guy was like refusing to wear a mask. And she was like, why won't you wear, she was like, I don't understand why you can't just wear a mask. You're in the liquor store for 5 minutes. And he's like, I haven't worn a mask. I'm not wearing a mask. It's none of my, he was like cussing at her. And she's like, but do it for other people. It's not really about you. And he's like, I'm not wearing a, and he was like cussing and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, it's my God-given right to not wear a mask if I don't want to. And I was like, dude, just wear a mask. Like, seriously, like, why are you making such a big deal out of it? You know, like, for those of you out there that like wear masks 9 to 12 hours a day or 5 hours a day working and whatever, God bless you. Like, seriously, like, you know, my husband has to wear a mask like 8 to 12 hours a day. And I'm like, how do you do it? And he's like, you just do it. Like, you get used to it. It's what you have to do, you know? And for work, he wears one of those like heavy duty ones that has like the breathing thing on the side of it. He usually wears like one of those. And I'm like, because I bought a bunch of those back in the, I mean, now you can get them everywhere, but back in the day, you couldn't, you know, get them. So I bought a bunch of those. I also have a bunch of like the surgical ones at home because I bought those off of like Amazon when they became available. So I have a bunch because, you know, God knows what could happen in the future. We might, you know, just need to have like, I don't have like a surplus of masks or anything like that. I think I ordered like 10 of like just the black ones that I have in here. No, I've got so many. I've got this gray one, I've got this blue one. Oh, these are the ones that I bought like 20 or 30 of just these plain black ones. I've got this plaid one. Look at this one, this little Christmassy one. Has snowmen on it. I think somebody sent this to me. I wore that to something, I can't remember. I have another gray one. Another gray one. Another black, oh no, camouflage. A black one. That's a blue one that's never been opened. I can put that in the back. My sponsor made me a Louis Vuitton one. I think this one's brand new, actually. Black one. Oh, what one is this? This is cute. I think somebody sent this to me. Yeah. This is another homemade one. Cute. Those are all my used ones. I mean, seriously, look at this. All these used ones that I have in here. And then I've got like probably 5 or 6 packs back here of different ones for people when they need one. And then in my bag, I have some in my bag too. My fanny pack, here's a black one. Is that the only one that I have in there right now? I have 2 inside, because sometimes I like get in my car and you guys forget to take them off, or you don't take them off right when you get inside. I just leave them on, and then when I get to my house, I take them off. I have like 2 inside where I put my keys. Okay, so I've got that one. I'll leave that one in the back. And then in my backpack, backpack that I carry with me. I ordered a new backpack tonight, a Patagonia one, that I can put my laptop and stuff in. It has like a slot for my backpack. But in my Patagonia, or no, in my North Face backpack that I have at home, I have like 2 or 3 in there, and then like some new ones too and stuff. They're really not that expensive. They were really pretty expensive when you couldn't get them, but they're not that expensive now. Meijer has them when you walk in there too, but theirs are all like really plain colors. And I don't mind those. Like those are the ones, the black ones that I typically wear. They're just smaller for my face. The ones from Target like cover up my whole face. Anyway, I wish Starbucks was still open. I'd go through and get a coffee, but it's not. They close early on Sunday. They close early all the time now, but they close early on the Sundays. I think my battery is half full. I can't believe it. I don't know how long I've been vlogging now, but I'm gonna get off here now and I'm gonna listen to my audiobook. I'm gonna finish it, and then I'm gonna watch an episode of Wentworth. I may lay down for a little bit and then get up later and start my next book. We'll see. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here now. Like I said, later in the week I will do longer outros, but today I'm just gonna say, because I've had such a great day today. It's been so beautiful. Oh, I forgot to say this. I spent a long time like watering my mums out front. I made a list of all of the videos that I want to make for tomorrow. So I'm gonna be hopefully making videos on all of my channels tomorrow. Unless I would sleep till 4 o'clock or something, which let's hope that's not the case, and I stay up all night long watching Wentworth. But I have all of my videos outlined already for tomorrow that I want to make. I have a drama video already that I want to make, but there might be another one that if something else pops up. So it might be a 2 for Monday tomorrow. And let's see what else. Yeah, it's just been a really good day. It's been relaxing, nice day. So anyway, I'm gonna get off here now. I hope you guys had an amazing Sunday. I hope you're having an amazing Monday. If you liked this vlog, this video vlog, please give it a big thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Please make sure that you're subscribed to all of my channels. And if you haven't already, and if you have, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And like I always say, if you haven't, like consider, you know, subscribing to this channel, my other channels. And for all of you that have supported my Peter Does Stuff channel, my new channel, I want to say I really, really appreciate it. The comments over there are just, they're beautiful. They're just, I don't even know what else to say. They're absolutely beautiful, and I really, really appreciate it. And, yeah, you know, do something fun today. Do something that will make yourself proud. Do something exciting. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you. Remember that you can start your day over whenever you want. Tell yourself that you love yourself every day. Look at yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I love you, and at least one positive affirmation like you are valuable and you deserve to be loved and you are loved. And let somebody know how much they mean to you. Practice random acts of kindness. And like it says in the 4 agreements, always lead with love. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and don't get super scared. It's Halloween season. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Creaky Halloween door. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya.